something fascinating happened in the stock market today, and everybody's like, what happened here? Like, why did all of a sudden this happen? So the S&P 500 went from 4,200 plus to all of a sudden 4181 in a matter of minutes. The move happened really quick, and it was a violent move down. I mean, that's not a small move down. That's a matter of minutes, man. It's extreme, right? And so a lot of people are wondering, what happened here? How do you get that level of selling pressure, potentially hundreds of billions of dollars in a matter of minutes? It seemed like there was really no big news. It seemed like there was really no big news at that particular time. And these are things that are I think, important to understand, right? Because, I mean, you look at a lot of these other moves, and this is kind of natural market activity, right? This is kind of a dramatic move there. That's a little strange as well. But overall, this is kind of normalish market activity, except for this. That dramatic, you would have to say, like, did Jay Powell come out and start talking or something like that? No, okay? This looks like it could actually be AI related. Yes, you heard me right, AI related. So this is fascinating. Check this out. This is going to blow your mind, okay? So, this says this morning, and I've seen this from a few sources now at this point in time, this morning an AI-generated image of a boom boom at the Pentagon surfaced, with multiple news sources reporting it as real, and the S&P 500 fell 30 points in minutes. This resulted in a $500 billion market cap swing on a fake image. It then rebounded once the image was confirmed fake. This person says AI is becoming dangerous, right? Wow. I like this comment. This is my favorite comment. This does not constitute the danger of AI, much as I could have photoshopped that myself in a few minutes. Thank you. This instead constitutes the dangers of crap reporting. 100%. 100%. Like, people act like Photoshop has been around for like 100 years now, right? Anybody that's good at Photoshop can Photoshop images massively better than AI can. And I can tell you it's a night and day difference. Like, somebody that's good at Photoshop can do such a great job that you are convinced that has to be a real thing. AI is like maybe, okay? Maybe at best in regards to that. And so, that's the thing. If people are like, oh, this is a danger of AI. It's like, give me a break. Anybody could have Photoshopped that. Literally, anybody could have Photoshopped that. That was not even a good, high quality, like, Photoshop there, man. I mean, you ask anybody that's good about Photoshop, and like, did they do a good job, AI? No, that's a joke. Like, could have done 1,000,000 times better than that. Like, you had to be kidding me. It's bad reporting. That's the bottom line with that. Check out inflation over the past year. Inflation is literally crashing right in front of our eyes, okay? There's absolutely zero reason for the Federal Reserve to raise rates anymore. All the Fed should be considering from here on out is cutting. Cutting, when do we start cutting? Like, what economic indicators are we going to look at to think about cutting? The fact that the conversation is still even on, like, pause versus hike, those sorts of things is laughable to me. Because when you just look at how bad CPI has been coming down for the past year, it's astronomical. And if you're looking at any sort of forward-looking data, it's, and listen to companies' earnings calls. Even companies are I can tell you, not seeing nearly as much inflation in their businesses now at this point in time when you listen to these earnings calls, right? And so there's inflation in the system, but there's always inflation in the system. And there's almost never a situation where there's not inflation in the system unless you're going through a catastrophic economic situation like we went through, obviously, in 2009. And so this is what we're seeing play out here, folks. And I can tell you, the market smells this. This is why you're seeing a lot of those safety stocks not do much or pull back. Why are all those safety stocks red today? Because the market is understanding that the Fed's going to be cutting sooner rather than later. RH. I am so excited for this one. They're reporting Thursday after the bell. Now, this stock has been in no man's land for a year. I'll be honest with you, okay? Which conference call do I look more forward to than any conference call in the entire stock market for any company I either own or don't own? The answer to that is RH. There's no conference call I like better than listening to that one. The gentleman, Gary Friedman, who runs that company, he took the old place of Steve Wynn. Steve Wynn, I used to love listening, even when I didn't own Wynn stock back in the day, used to love listening to the Steve Wynn conference calls. I felt like he had such great thoughts, such great like imaginations on what he could do and what he could accomplish with his business and luxury, and like what it meant to be a high-end marketer and all those sorts of things, right? And just, I see a lot of those same traits in Gary Friedman. So this is my favorite company to listen to their conference call. Even though now I'm finally investing in the company, but I have like a very small amount of money, and I think I have like maybe $11,000 or $12,000 in the stock, right? It's still like, I just love listening to this company. Now, in regards to this, right, it's in no man's land, and I wouldn't be surprised if it stays in no man's land for this entire year. What do I mean by that? I wouldn't be surprised if the stock stays between $200 and $300 for this entire year. And it's going to move down, it's going to look like that in the world, then it's going to move up, it's going to look like everything's getting better. But I don't know if we're in a time period where we're going to get any sort of clear confirmation about the luxury real estate market. The good news is it can't get much worse than it's already been. The bad news is I don't see the luxury housing market getting necessarily better right now. I think we're still probably 6 to 12 months, potential 18 months, but I think we're probably more 6 to 12 months before the luxury home market really starts to pick up in terms of sales volume, things like that. So I think the stock's going to likely stay in no man's land. And for somebody like myself that really wants to build out this position over this next 12 months, I think I'm going to have a tremendous opportunity to, over this next 12 months, to continue to build the stock and buy shares under $300 a share. And I hope the stock tanks. I hope their earnings are bad. I hope they have to pull down guidance even more. That's my ideal scenario, because I really like the company. I like the vision. I like, obviously, the CEO. I like everything they've accomplished. But I really want to build that one into a much bigger position. So my hope is it goes down. Next thing you know, it's 220. I want it to break through its lows. So it need to go down to 220 plus and break through any sort of past lows. And then, hopefully get down to $200 level there. PayPal. Now, this is a past month for PayPal. The stock's down almost 18%. This is an important week for PayPal. This stock has got to start coming back this week, okay? It's got to start showing some momentum. Now, am I going to be buying PayPal stock this week personally? And the answer to that is yes. It's almost, I would say, 98% guaranteed that I am a buyer of PayPal this specific week. How big of a buyer? We'll see. Will I be playing any call options 2025? Man, calls aren't really my thing, but, I it usually doesn't work out well for me, so I might just might stick to the stock. We'll see what happens, okay? But nonetheless, yes, PayPal is an absolutely insane deal. I've looked at this one across the board. I've looked at every single risk factor. I've looked at risk factors that aren't even there. I've looked at the valuation a million times. I've looked at the income statements, the balance sheets. I've gone through it all a million times. And I can tell you every single time, it's a deal. It's a steal deal. It's stealing money. I've looked at it from every angle. I've thought about competition. I've thought about, the marketplace. I've thought about everything they're up to. And there's just no doubt, like it's a steal deal in my opinion. So we'll see, what transpires long term there. But that's my opinion. I'll likely be a buyer of it. But it's an important week for PayPal. This stock has to, start coming back to life. It's got to be some buying action that comes in. Okay,